So I'm going to show you two poses that you can use to help to open the backs of the legs. So for a lot of people, when they come to the Ashtanga practice, they find it very challenging because there's so many of these forward bending poses, bending forward like this. And if you have tight hamstrings and calves, yeah. So if you have tight hamstrings and calves, perhaps from running or cycling a lot, then it can feel kind of frustrating sometimes to do any of these forward bends. So these two exercises, I find them quite helpful for lengthening the muscles. So you could do them, for instance, before you start your Ashtanga practice, or maybe the evening before you do your practice the next morning, or every evening. Depends on how much time you're going to make for your yoga practice. So when we lie on the back, it's going to make sure that we keep our back straight. So when we do a forward bend normally, we might not have the awareness of what's happening in our back body, so we can end up bulging back to come forward and be in something like this. So this is really unhealthy for the spine. So I like these positions so that we can lie down on our back, feel like we've got a naturally straight back with a little bit of lumbar curve. And we just put our soles of the feet on the floor, something like this. And we're going to bend one knee. We'll start with our right knee in towards the chest. Take the fingers, interclasp the fingers behind the thigh. Check that the shoulders are relaxed, the neck is relaxed, the face is relaxed. And from here, so we're bending the knee in towards the chest. Okay, so we're going to keep that angle, and then we're going to slowly work towards straightening the leg. Okay, so like this. I'll show you what not to do. So if I get to here and I can't straighten my leg anymore, I'm not going to move my knee away from my chest to be able to straighten my leg. Okay, so that's not the purpose, not moving from here. Instead, I keep my knee close to my chest. I make sure that my lower back and my buttocks stay on the floor, and then I start to straighten my leg. And if I only straighten to here, no problem. I stay here and I relax and I breathe. And I can stay for a few more seconds, and maybe slowly you can even check and see what's going on. Maybe slowly you're going to work towards straightening your leg a little more. Okay. If it works that you straighten it, then that's great. You stay here, holding the back of your thigh, not holding behind the knee, not holding the leg closer to the ankle. Okay, really the back of the thigh. Relax the upper body. You can close the eyes and breathe. Breathing into the feeling. Where you do not want to feel so much stretch is right on the sitting bone. We're trying to get into the body of the hamstrings. So if you're feeling like there's a lot of stretch here on the sitting bones, you can take your fingers and kind of take the skin of the sitting bones and pull it towards the back of your knee. And then take the skin behind your knee and stretch the lower hamstring up towards the upper hamstring to try to slacken the upper part of the muscle. You can even, if you're very tight, you can take your hands massaging the back of the thigh, rubbing it, applying heat can allow the muscles to relax more, or the muscles and the fascia around the muscles. And after we've held it for a minute or so, then we can release the leg down, put that sole of the foot onto the floor, bend the other knee into the chest, bring the hands behind the thigh, and work towards straightening the leg. If you want, you can do the same thing, massage the back of the thigh, pull the skin so that you're not overstretching the top of the hamstring where it attaches onto the sitting bones. Maybe you straighten the leg, maybe you don't. You need to respect your body's limitations. And actually something interesting about stretching, if we overstretch, like if I pull myself really far inwards and I overstretch the back of my leg too quickly, it actually can do the opposite that you want it to do. It can actually stiffen the muscles. So we need to let the muscles gradually melt into the stretch, soften into the stretch. If you don't have the cooperation of the muscles, it doesn't work. And then we can bend the knee, release. And I'm going to come up to sit to explain the second exercise. So the second exercise, we need to have a yoga belt, and we need to make a loop with the yoga belt. So this is about medium length. The tighter you are behind the legs, the longer the belt or the longer the loop needs to be. So you might need a longer belt than this, or attach two belts together to make a very long belt. And I'm going to lie back down on my back. I'm going to take the belt and I'm going to hook it around my foot, and then the other part around the back of my head. Okay? So you can keep the other leg relaxed, so the sole of the foot is on the floor, the knee is bent, and then you can either hold the belt a little bit. So because my hamstrings are flexible, this happens where my head comes onto the floor. But don't be surprised if your head is staying off the floor. And there's no problem with that. As long as you're relaxing the back of the neck, you can hang out something like this. If you have long hair or it's slippery, then you might need to kind of hold the belt in place a little bit. So don't worry about that. Whatever you're finding is comfortable, this is what's important. And then you can close the eyes and stay here. You could put on some music, listen to some music, relax. Make the position feel good for you. And just stay there for some time until it feels like it's enough. And how to tell you when it's enough. So when you hold a position for some time, the muscles at the beginning might feel uncomfortable, and then it starts to release into it. So you can give yourself enough time where it's like, okay, maybe that's feeling kind of uncomfortable, but if I can breathe and relax into it, it starts to release. The muscles start to soften into the stretch. If it feels like you're trembling or your breathing becomes short, it feels like it's causing you some anxiety, then you need to come out of it. You don't hold the pose if you're feeling like it's stressful on the breath or the heart or even the mind. Okay. So I'm going to release out of it. You, in your personal practice, you can decide how long you're going to hold it for. I'm going to switch the feet, place the other foot on the floor, and place the belt behind my head again. Find that relaxation place. Again, seeing how long you can hold it, where you can be completely relaxed. Okay, so again, I'm not holding it very long. I'm just giving you an idea of some little tips that you can do for your personal practice. Either adding it before you practice in the morning, if you practice in the morning, or doing it in the evening before bed, or while you're reading. Could be a nice relaxation while you're reading in the evening. Just lie there and hold one of those poses. So good luck. Thank you. Namaste.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.